I had my mic turned off. I had my mic turned off the whole time. I had my mic turned off. Oh my God. I had my mic turned off the whole time. Oh my God. What was that? 2 minutes of me going nuts? You guys didn't even hear it. It's just so okay. Let me do that again. Oh my God. How long did I do that? That's okay. Call a timeout. I'm so frustrated. Let's do it again. I'll give you my rant, man. Call a fucking timeout. I'm so frustrated. Like if you watched me, you probably thought it was your sound. It was my sound. Sorry, guys. So frustrating. You've got Caitlin Clark. Why is she not inside the key to take that pass? I'll tell you again. Let me get a drink. Call a fucking timeout. Why? What is this? Christy Sides Part 2? Why is this coach trying to be like the old coach? Why did they design a play that had Caitlin out of bounds when you had somebody you could have Lexi Holt do it. You could have Kelsey pass the ball. You need Caitlin to take that shot. Of course, everybody saw what you were doing. Caitlin inbounds the ball. She jumps in. She passes it, jumps in, comes back. No, there was no time for that. Instead, you have Howard. Howard, who was terrible the whole game. Terrible, man. I'm so frustrated. I have to try to find a way to say that was okay, but it's not acceptable. That was not acceptable at home, coming off a big win against basically now a rival, a statement-making game. Caitlin had a triple-double at home. You guys have every reason to win this game, but you have one reason you didn't. Your coach, your coaching staff. So crazy, man. So crazy. I'm just blown away at how terrible the coaching was from the beginning of the game till the end of the game. Caitlin was just doing what she needed to do in the fourth to bring them back, and the coaches slowed the roll. I don't get it, man. And then you try to put her in as the 2. Colson comes in, can't function. Kelsey Mitchell's out too long. I just don't understand. This was a game that they got totally outfoxed in and outcoached. That coach for the Dream coached a great game. But we have Howard. You have Howard taking the last shot. Howard, Caitlin Clark, the MVP. She's basically the MVP. She's going to be a double to 25. You had a double-double, close to sniffing a triple-double. She's on fire, brings the team back from destruction. We thought the game was over. You thought it was over. I thought it was over. She makes a staggering comeback, and then you leave Howard in, who can't hit a free throw. She's 0 for 4 in clutch. You have to hit those free throws, man. You're a veteran. I mean, really? Frankengrinder totally outplayed her. And who else was it? DB scoreless? Like, you kidding me, man? So they feast on a weak team. Now we know how weak the Sky was, and now we know the Fever they have a lot of work to do. One of the things they have to do is get a coaching staff that knows substitutions. So the first quarter, they're flat. You know why? Because DB and Howard were flat. Okay, they're not ready. Put in a small lineup. Put in a smaller lineup. No, instead, you let them just get grinded out by a tough inside defense with the Dream. Look, I'm not taking anything away from the Dream. We'll get to that in a second. But goddamn, call a timeout. When Caitlin Clark is on the sideline, right? And everybody's feeling it. You inbound the ball. There's no time left, okay? No time left. And she's waiting and waiting because the team can't get loose because she's supposed to be out there scoring. So everybody's confused. I'm confused. You're confused because you're seeing Caitlin Clark on the side. Everybody was confused. And I think the team was confused. Even though they had a play to run, they're playing like, we're doing this. And Caitlin couldn't get the ball in. She finally forced it to somebody who can't hit a fucking free throw. I'm having a hard time. I'm literally going to have a Woo! I'm literally going to have a heart attack. Call a fucking timeout. Call a timeout, man. Jesus. God damn, man. Like, Caitlin, there was a point where Caitlin Clark was a nightmare for them, man. A nightmare. They could not stop her. So she's hot. Boston's hot. We have to talk. Aaliyah Boston does a coast to coast twice and scores, man. I've never seen that in all my years in the NBA, much less the WNBA. A player that plays her position center going coast to coast and then being a wizard, getting a 3-point play the first time, doing it again and getting a 2-point play. Come on, man. She just was. Why are the two superstars, the Dream Girls? Why didn't they get the ball? I'm blown away, man. Putting Caitlin Clark on the side and having her inbound the ball is not the same as having her have the ball to take the last shot. Oh my God! Oh my God! I can't believe Not only can I believe, I've been ranting for 12 minutes. Not only can I not believe that I didn't turn the sound on for the first minute of the rant, I can't believe what I watched, man. Oh my God. I'm trying to get this out of my system. This is why I do this. This is why I get on the internet to talk to you guys. So I'm trying to get this out of my system, man. Oh, God. Like I feel so frustrated, man. The roller coaster of this game. The roller coaster. So like a broken record from last year, Caitlin Clark doesn't take the last shot when you need 1 point, man. And on top of it, you had overtime. But this stupid team that's not Caitlin, okay, they can't figure out, slow this down. Yeah, you had a 2-for-1, all these things. Yeah, Caitlin played the best she could play with what she's got. It's so frustrating. Oh, my God. Oh, so there are call a timeout, man. Learn the clock. This coaching staff didn't take advantage of the clock. The clock is your weapon. You can weaponize the clock when you take when you tie that you have a lead, then you tie it up, and then you give them a 1-point lead, and then Frankengrinder gets fouled out. Like, that was huge. You had everything you needed, man. Now, yes, Boston did miss a free throw, but still, you still got to put the ball in Caitlin's hands. It wouldn't have changed the fact that you need to put the ball in Caitlin's hands, man. Howard was a mess. There's no excuse for that. No excuse for somebody at her level to play like shit the entire game. DB, what was going on with that? No excuse, man. No excuse. I don't know if it was all the news going on and the fake shit about the fans, all that fake stuff by the Sky that ran a very good campaign, a very good psychological campaign to try to destroy the reputation of the Fever. They didn't play Sophie. I don't know. Look, she's fine. She's standing up the whole time. They didn't play her because they didn't think they needed her. I get that. They're trying to rest her. But clearly they needed her, okay? We haven't even seen her impact. So, I mean, there's some bright spots, but goddamn, man. I take this too seriously. Just call a fucking timeout, man. All right. My name is Jason J. Daniel. I didn't even get to hear my intro. My name is Jason J. Daniel. All right. Woo! My name is Jason J. Daniel of the Jason J. Daniel Show, and I'm losing my mind here. I'm a podcaster. I do a lot of podcasts about stuff that I like. I love the Fever, so I'm podcasting about the Fever. I'm trying to cover every game for you. You can follow me on YouTube. You can follow me on X. If you're watching me, I appreciate you very much. I want to say, oh my God, this is Jason J. Daniel Show. I'm Jason J. Daniel everywhere. I appreciate you guys watching. You can follow me everywhere: Snap, Rumble, IG, YouTube. I'm now on Twitch, Facebook. This show's not on Facebook because I have a lot of my family and friends on Facebook, and I'm cussing up a storm, man. So this was on Facebook tonight. But follow and sub. I appreciate all of you guys subbing to my YouTube. I have a lot of folks watching, so I appreciate you guys. And if you just joined me, call a fucking timeout, baby. Just call time. I don't know how hard that is, man. I'm going timeout. And maybe I'm wrong. Were they out of timeouts? Okay. I don't know. Were they out of timeout? If they're out of timeouts, and here's my thing. I wasn't counting the timeouts either. I don't know. But here's my thing. If you're out of timeouts in a close game, that's on the coaching staff, man. 2 challenges on top of it. 2 fucking challenges. Whatever. I mean, you were successful, but come on, man. The coaching staff was pressing too much, trying too hard. And then when they needed to make good substitutions, they just didn't think that was important. Oh my God. Colson, Colson came in and turned it on. Like, everybody's turning. Lexi came in, was on fire. They couldn't take advantage of that. Caitlin was a little cold, but then she was starting to heat up. She was just dynamic. You're never out of a game with Caitlin Clark. So why would you put the ball in her hands inside the key? Don't put her on the sideline, man. And here's my thing. If you don't got somebody that can inbound the ball, then get somebody that can inbound the ball, man. It's simple stuff. Jesus Christ. Now, if you're a fan and you're like, if you're upset saying I'm too hard on them, well, this isn't the show for you, man. Because I'm going to be hard on them. Sitting Sophie was a mistake. She's totally fine, man. She's doing TikTok videos. She's totally fine. They sat her because, one, they're trying to keep her out of the controversy, right? Because she's got a scandal right now. Let's be real. So they're like, okay, and she has an ankle issue. You don't want to play with an ankle. I get that. But see, they outfoxed themselves. They should have just put the full compliment out there and like, hey, the coaching staff needs to understand the stakes are high after a huge win like that. The world is watching. You need to win the next game, especially against a team you're expected to win against. Now they have it's like a back-to-back. They get a day off, but then they play them again. They have to win the next game to send a statement. They lose to the Dream again. This is a problem. We're already looking at a problem, man. I'm just frustrated. And maybe you're saying, hey, Jason, they didn't have a timeout. Well, that's the fault of the coach. They should have had a timeout. When you have a close game, you should have timeouts ready. You have to be judicious about your timeouts. If there's anything a coach knows, it's how to manage the clock. They mismanaged the clock. I'm hoping the coach takes responsibility and says, hey, we failed this team, or we need to be better. Instead, you know what they're worried about? This is what I saw. I saw the coach, Stephanie, right? I saw her do we have to get rid of hate. And she says, if you're a jerk, you can't be a jerk at our team. You know what? You're the jerk, man. You're so caught up in the gossip. You're caught up in social media. You're addressing something that's not real, and you got your ass kicked, man, as a coach. You got outcoached. I don't care if you're mad at me, man. I'm fucking frustrated. When is this freaking coaching staff going to get in their head that last year and this year that Caitlin Clark takes the last fucking shot? What's the problem with this? Like, how hard is this to figure out? So you're the coaching staff. You're like, oh, okay. Well, she inbounds the ball. There's no time for that shit, dude. You're already getting killed defensively the entire game. It was hard enough to get shots open. You had to play crafty. They had to play physical. They had to get tough. The referees kind of started to help them out a little bit. Things were going their way. They were burning on luck. So you're not going to go, I'm going to draw a genius play. You have to do something scrappy, something obvious. You put Caitlin Clark on the floor. Would Jordan inbound the ball? Let me ask you that question. Would Michael Jordan inbound the ball? Of course not. Of course not. Because basketball rules say, the gods say, if you have a basketball legend on the sideline, they get the ball. Look, if Caitlin gets the ball in that situation instead of Howard, and she misses the layup or gets knocked down or whatever it is, and you lose, I can live with that. I cannot live with Howard taking the last shot when you need a clutch win. The energy was there. Caitlin hits a big three. She brings the crowd up. Okay, Caitlin's the maestro. She knows how to run the offense in clutch. She runs on instinct. She's a basketball monster, okay? So you got your monster out there, and you put your monster on the sideline. There's nothing more dumb than that. Like, the basketball gods will look at that, and they will fuck you when you do dumb shit like that. Play a legitimate game. That is a smart game. Coach with your brain, not with your fear. That was a fearful coaching move because they're thinking, okay, we put Caitlin out there and we have somebody else inbound the ball. Everybody triple teams Caitlin. Well, of course. And then that leaves somebody else open. Come on, man. And then you've got Howard. I don't fault Caitlin for pushing the ball to Howard because Howard was the only option when everybody else was covered because the defense knew what they were doing the entire game. They had been smothered the entire game. So why do you think, okay, that your star is more needful inbounding the ball when your star will probably get a call, right? She probably will get a free throw attempt and at least tie the game. You think Caitlin's going to miss 2? She might miss 1. Rare. She had some misses, but she's not missing 2. So at least you got the tie. Come on, man. God damn, man. I'm so frustrated. It's been 20 minutes of me being frustrated on this podcast right now. I'm so frustrated by what I saw. Now, I think there's a silver lining, and I'm not that guy. I'm not hitting the panic button, but I'm just want to be honest about how critical I am of this. This was a major coaching blunder. It was a terrible coached game. This game was so poorly coached. And now I understand, okay? The Sky are that bad, okay? Chicago Sky are that bad that our Indiana coach cannot really need to coach, and the team just walked over them. They're that bad. The Dream, they're not bad. Grindhouse, Brittany Grinder, FRANKENGRINDER played a monster game, a beast. The footwork, she's an Olympian. She's an all-star. She's the footwork she was legit real. And you know what I saw? With that, I love what Boston did for majority. Boston, it took her some time, but then she got in that rhythm and she started taking Brittany Grinder on head to head. I was like so energized by that. I was like, that is legit, man. So instead of being intimidated by her, she started to go right at her, and that's when things started to change. But Boston was the difference maker, which allowed Caitlin to open up and then start being a beast and being, going to beast mode. And you've got Boston not afraid. I loved that. So why do you have Howard and DB in a majority of the game when all they're doing is basically giving up baskets? Like, I couldn't believe what I saw. Just pointless play. Like, sit them down, man. But the problem with the coach is too afraid to sit them down because then they're going to bitch going, well, I have experience. I should be in this game. Well, it doesn't matter. You guys played like shit. Sit on the bench. 4 free throws? Howard missed 4 free throws, man. How do you do that in clutch? It's because you're not focused. Easy as that. It's because you're not in the game. So a coach needs to go, you're not playing if you can't hit a fucking free throw. And then when they pulled Caitlin out for a moment, which was confusing, what? Like, I just didn't understand the substitutions. Basically, like, anybody playing NBA 2K could make better substitutions. That was nuts. Caitlin's having to deal with some idiot coaches. There was one situation, and I've unfortunately, guys, I started ranting and I had my mic off, so sorry about that. I might have mentioned this when my mic was off, but there was a couple of situations they showed where Caitlin's coming out of a timeout with the team, and this one coach was getting in her face, going rah rah rah, and trying to yell at the team, and she's like ignoring her, going, she's just focused. Let her cook, man. This coach got up twice, not the head coach. I'm not sure of her name. I don't want to disrespect her. She got up twice and got in the face. Caitlin's like, can you just let me cook, man? Like, she knows what she's doing. She brought them back into that game. And then Boston followed her lead and played like a monster. Look, I loved what I saw from Boston. She played like a champion, man. She played like a first-round draft pick. She played like a stud. She was brave, went right into Brittany Grindhouse and started just punching away and got her fouled out, dude. They fouled out Grindhouse at the very end. You had everything you needed to win the game except a coach that knows what the fuck she's doing. God damn. I'm sorry. I'm so frustrated. It's been 25 minutes. I'm still frustrated. Like I threw my phone across. I was like, oh, what, are you kidding me? The roller coaster I was on, the roller coaster was making me crazy. Look, you thought they were going to lose. I thought they were going to lose. Then Caitlin goes into beast mode. I'm like, oh my God. She's hitting threes. She's riling the crowd up. She's doing what Caitlin does. We're feeling it. And then they tie the game. They go up. You had overtime. If you just managed the clock, I would have taken an overtime loss. I would have. I don't want to take a loss, but I would have taken that. But the one thing I cannot take is Howard taking the last shot. I cannot stomach that. After missing 4 clutch free throws, she takes the last shot, and I don't blame Caitlin because she had no other options because the coaching staff had her on the sidelines. How dumb was that? Oh, my God. I'm sorry if my mic's too hot. I'm just yelling. I apologize, guys. I'm just so frustrated, man. God damn. I'm literally going to have a heart attack. Literally. No, not really. I'm fine. I haven't had too much of this. I just... It's bad. Like, it's bad. That's bad. Like, so I really feel like if Caitlin Clark coached the team, they'd be winning games. She essentially coached the team last week because the coach clearly didn't do anything because the coach just let it happen. The coach was like, just go because they were blowing them up. They were smoking them. That's how bad this guy was. But look, you had Brittany Grindhouse come in and you know, let's get into it. Let's just get into the numbers here. God damn, man. She had Brittany Grindhouse come in and, come into town. She played 30 minutes, almost 31. She was 8 for 13, 65% shooting because nobody could stop her. Howard just let her shoot. I couldn't believe that. I'm like, really? You're just going to let her just spot up on you? She didn't even resist the footwork. Like Grindhouse is like just doing her thing, man. Just Olympic stuff. Brittany Grindhouse survived a Russian gulag, okay? She's not afraid of anything, okay? She's doing the footwork. Howard is no match for her, completely outmatched. It's the coach's job to go, you're getting schooled here. I got to put in I got to double team this chick, and we got to take some they were taking fouls for no reason. If you're going to take a foul because you do what Caitlin did. Take a hard foul, man. Do what Caitlin did last game. Give him a hard foul and make her earn it. You didn't make her earn it. So Brittany Grindhouse is just doing her thing. She even took a 3. 0 for 1 on that. She's 5 for 6 at the free throw line, man. You gave her 6 free throws on top of what she was just money, man. Unbelievable, man. It's just 21 points from Brittany Grindhouse, and it was like easy money for her, man. Howard was no match. The coach has to put a stop to that. They have to see if you don't have the matchups, man. But I'll just say Boston, like such a bright spot, man. Boston just, like I said earlier, I've never seen somebody go coast to coast twice like that. That was legendary. In the NBA, I've been watching basketball for 20 years. In the NBA, and of course, not in the WNBA, I've never seen a center, go coast to coast and score, like make a 3-point play and then a 2-point play. That's the power of Caitlin Clark because at that time, they're like, oh my God, that was when Caitlin was on fire. They had to honor her. But Caitlin was getting double teamed. Did you see her arms? She's getting scratched up. She's getting banged up. She started to get some calls, which was nice. The refs were working with the Fever in the fourth quarter. But the only person not working with the Fever was the coach. The coach was too worried about gossip, too worried about doing interviews saying, don't be jerks, guys. Don't be jerks if you're going to come to our game. Don't be mean. Be nice. We're going to investigate you. I saw that today. I was like, whoa, thanks for not being fucking focused. Like the players who are half your age were more mature about it than you. They're the ones that didn't get in all emotional. But of course, we have a coach that's part of the WNBA Illuminati. She's got to say stuff to make the WNBA happy. She's got to tote the party line, and she's missing the mark. She wasn't focused. Brittany Grindhouse should not get 21 points in the paint uncontested. She shouldn't get an opportunity to take a 3, and she shouldn't be 5 for 6 at the stripe. You need to make her earn that. but she just worked Howard like a puppet the entire time, and she let it happen. Howard, how much time? Look, if you watch my last show, I fell in love with Howard. I guess the coaching staff did too. Okay, cool. Howard had a really huge game, had a monster game against the Sky. But sometimes you're not always going to have it. Sometimes you're not going to be there. You miss 4 free throws in clutch. She hits it. Look, when you're a big guard, you have to hit free throws because you're going to be in a situation where you're going to get free throws. You can't go in with the mindset that you can't hit free throws. 0 for 4 doesn't work. You got to hit free throws. You have to honor the coaching staff who give you the opportunity. So I blame Howard for having a shit game, and I blame the coach for not recognizing. Sorry if I'm hot on the mic. I'm trying not to get too crazy, but man. So let's look at the box score let's look at Howard. So Howard, see this all, you know what this does? This ruins Caitlin Clark's monster game. It ruins the monster game that Boston had. Boston had an all-star game. Like, this was a play. I hope the coaching staff understands that they need to elevate their game. The players are much more elevated than the coaching staff. I just don't think the coaching staff understood the challenge. Every game's a playoff game. Every game is a playoff game. Everything is on the line. The stakes are high. This is an international game. This is a worldwide phenomenon. This is the best player in basketball since Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. You have a big, huge megastar. You have to understand the stakes are high. Everybody comes in and they bring their A game, okay? Everybody brings their A game. I slept on the dream. I thought it was going to be a blowout. We all thought it was going to be a blowout. They sat Sophie Turner. It was a mistake. She's fine. I understand they're trying to protect her ankle. I understand they're trying to protect her because there's a whole thing going on with the scandal. I appreciate that. I honor that. But are we winning games or not? Are we paying these players to win games or not? So put her on the floor, man. Look, she's fine. They had her listed as day-to-day earlier. If you follow me on TikTok at Real Jason J. Daniel, I had to do 2 injury reports because they had her day-to-day. She had a full practice. The local media said she was cool. They said she was fine. So that was reported on the WNBA website. And then an hour before the game, she's out in dress clothes. Well, they could have used her because Howard was trash. Jesus Christ, man. Shout out to Lexi Hull, who came in and was she's always focused. I got to tell you, the one thing about Lexi Hull, I've never seen her play a game where she's not focused. I'm sorry if my mic's too hot, guys. I'm trying to work on my tech. I'm noticing sometimes I get loud, my mic gets hot. So I apologize. Please forgive me. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm on X right now live. I'm live, streaming live. This is live. I'm losing my mind live. I'm going crazy live. So I don't know what to tell you. But man, I was so frustrated. Like I was so mad that I got on and forgot to turn my mic on. So for a minute I was ranting and you couldn't hear me. I do that all the time. I got to put a big sign up. Put your fucking mic on. I was a bad coach for myself. Boston played 36 minutes. She was a beast, 9 for 13. 69% shooting, man. Oh, my God. And you got Howard? You got Howard. All right, let's look at Howard. Howard played 30 minutes. 3 for 9. First of all, she took too many shots, man. She took a few jumpers with uncontested clank. Like, what are you doing, dude? Now, there was one time where Caitlin fed her the ball, and Howard was wide open, and Howard goes, I should take this shot. No, Caitlin was feeding it so you could pass it to somebody that was open that can hit shots. That wasn't your shot, dude. She just wasn't recognizing, I'm wide open. Oh, wow. Players that are cold need to recognize when they're wide open, they need to pass the ball till they get an easier, high percentage look and get warm. Unless you're Caitlin or unless you're Boston, who can hit that little baby jumper in the key or hole. That's not you, Howard. So now I'm learning she's a mirage. Last game, we got totally suckered thinking that she was going to play at that level the entire time. Clearly she can't. Clearly she's hot and cold. The jury's out. But I tell you what, she better work on those fucking free throws because if she gets more than 30 minutes again, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. 29 minutes, 3 for 9, 33% shooting. I wish you could see this. 0 for 0 three-pointer. She didn't take a 3. 0 for 0. I'm sorry. And then 0 for 4 on free throws. Her free throw percentage, 0. All right, what did she get? She gave you 6 points. Bonner was a mess too. 16 minutes. Thank God they pulled her out. Both of these chicks should have got 10 and 10. That's how they were playing. You've got Colson, who came in, couldn't get into rhythm, but was 50% shooting. Lexi Hull was 50% shooting, 1 for 1 for threes. Lexi 30 minutes, but she was 2 for 4, 100% 3-point percentage, 1 for 3 at the line. That was not good. But I'll tell you what Lexi Hull gives you. She gives you the defense that you don't get from anybody else. She is a master at defense, scrambling, causing fouls. She really, that moment she pulled Frankengrinder, like she really went at Frankengrinder. She knew the assignment. She knew the role. So back to coast, like Boston played so good, man. You know, Howard could not defend an all-star. It's pretty clear. I understand Howard has a legend or not a legend, but has an incredible resume. But you can't miss 4 free throws. You cannot miss 4 free throws when you're playing in a tight game, when you're behind. Man, the Fever came back from 7. They came back from 11. They came back from 13, I think. They were in that game because of 2 words, Caitlin Clark and Boston. I'll give Boston that too. But you can't do that. I'm so frustrated. I'm feeling much better, but I'm so frustrated, guys. If you back up and start my show, this is live, by the way, of Jason J. Daniels Show. I'm committed to, so I was just going to say, if you back up, you can see my first minute. I was so frustrated. I'm just screaming with my mic off. So if you can read lips, you can understand. I was so mad. Like I got on, I'm like, I'm going to be chill. I was trying to calm myself down. I'm an actor, so I know how to do breathing exercises, trying to calm myself down. And I just went nuts. When the camera went on, I did the countdown. I just lost my mind, man. I just want to talk to you guys so bad and go, you cannot miss 4 free throws. That's the game, man. When you're taking on, when you got that much time, 30 minutes. Each quarter is 10 minutes. You played essentially 3 full quarters and did nothing. 33% shooting. Howard killed them, man. Boston kept them. Boston was consistent. Caitlin Clark came alive like a monster, set the table, and then you've got a coach that's just a knucklehead. Here we go again, man. Here we go. The Fever, they're a fucking Lamborghini. And whoever's driving, it's really going to make a difference, man. Clearly, the coaching staff last year can't drive this car, and clearly this coaching staff needs to learn how to drive this car. This coach had a hard time figuring out how to drive this offense. A lot of confusion in the first half. But what's so crazy about that is it didn't matter because Caitlin brought him back in the third and the fourth. It didn't matter. So when you let Caitlin cook, you can have a bad coach and still win. That is rare in the sporting world, much less the WNBA. Caitlin is so good, but the coaching staff just got in her way the entire time. And putting her on the side for the last shot was a mortal sin. Like, I understand she's a passing genius, but she needs to be in the key taking that shot, not Howard. Howard, what do you expect from Howard, man? She's not going to hit free throws. She's not. You think after 0 and 4, she's going to hit 2 clutch free throws? Because one gives you the tie, one gives you the win. But Caitlin Clark can. So Caitlin should have been in the key. And if you're joining me late, I don't blame Caitlin for passing it to Howard because that was the only option she had. The coach could have called a fucking timeout. I mean, unless I'm wrong and they're out of timeouts. But if they're out of timeouts, then that's clock mismanagement. They have the tie. They had overtime and they mismanaged the clock because the coach didn't slow the offense down, man. Jesus Christ. So when the coach, it's like a Lamborghini. This coach does not know how to shift the gears. This coach does not know how to drive this car. This is a very serious offense, and the coach will make or break the offense. And that's what happened, man. Starting to feel a little better. Oh, my God, man. I'm starting to feel a little better. All right, I'm starting to come down. Oh, man. Well, let's just talk about the good stuff. Okay? I did 40 minutes of bitching. I mean, and you know what? I had to get out of my system. I had 40 minutes of bitching. So let's talk about the good stuff. Caitlin's on fire, man. She's so lethal. Caitlin Clark is lethal. Caitlin Clark, if you give her space, if you give her that left side, they're learning how to take that away from her, but you can't take away the other. Like, if Caitlin gets that, if she gets a spot, she kept working. You can see Caitlin kept working. She was trying to be judicial. She was trying to be smart with her threes. You could tell in the fourth quarter, she kept trying to work. They kept shutting her down, but she's still lethal. Caitlin Clark scored. She scored two in the fourth. Was it 2 3-pointers? And then she had an assist. She scored 7 points all by herself. Not by herself, but she was responsible for 7 points in a short amount of time. She brought them back twice in that game, and the coaching staff squandered it. It was crazy. So, Kate, let's look at the bright spots. Caitlin, 40 minutes, man, and she's an animal. She had 27 points, ended up with 27 points, had 11 assists, had a double-double. She was on fire. She was 45% from the three line. She took a lot of threes, but that's her job. 66% free throw shooting. That was a little odd. She missed 2 free throws, which was weird. They were all missing free throws. I don't know what that was. That's a thing. We have to work on that. If I'm the coach, I'm like, you're all shooting free throws tomorrow. That's all we're doing. You're shooting free throws. This is a good free throw shooting team. Even Boston missed one in clutch time. But I don't hold that against Boston because that still would have been the tie, right? That wouldn't have been the win. It's okay, right? But you can't leave all these points on the floor, or on the table. You can't leave this many points on the table. Lexi Hole played good. We talked about her. Colson struggled a little bit. Boston was a wizard, man. 69% shooting. And you got Howard at 33. Why isn't Boston taking their last shot? I'll tell you why, because she got covered. You put Caitlin Clark outside to inbound the ball. You're doing the defense's job. You're covering her. So fucking dumb, man. She's not that kind of player. Caitlin needs to be cooking. She needs to be moving. She needs to be in the key. She needs to get that last shot. I'm sorry. She was lethal, man. The whole world knows Caitlin needs to take that shot. How many times last year did we tell you that? How many times last year did people talk about that? Caitlin needs to take the last shot. How many more times and get it through their skull that she is her. She is the truth. She's the answer. Give her the ball. Live and die with Caitlin Clark taking the last shot. And I know you're saying Caitlin passed it to her because she was on the sidelines, dude. She didn't put herself there. The coach did, dude. Jesus Christ. So crazy, man. Just a broken record, man. Broken record. So if you join me late, Fever lose, 91-90. Caitlin doesn't take the last shot. That's the story of the game right there. Broken record, man. So I'll break down the game for you for a few minutes. We'll go another 5 maybe if I can handle it without my heart blowing up. We'll get into, there's some bright spots. I know the last thing I need is this. What time is it? Oh my God. Okay. There's some bright spots. I know it's late for you guys in the East Coast, the Indiana peoples. Thanks for watching. I know we have some international people. I had somebody from Australia reach out to me to watch my clips. I'm not sure if he watched the show, but thank you. Shout out to Australia. People are watching the show, guys. They're watching the show, so thank you. I apologize if I'm a little hot on the mic tonight because I'm just crazy as hell right now. So if you're just joining me, I went crazy. You'll have to back this up. I was going nuts for 30 minutes. My heart's coming out of my chest. Man, what an exciting game. It was just the energy. the ups and the downs. I mean, this is why we watch basketball. Look, Caitlin Clark, I really wish they could give her a big contract like all these other guys. She's so worth $100 million, $200 million. It's crazy they don't have the money for her. She is like such a stud, man. I mean, you're never out of it. You're down by 13. You're never out of it. You're down by 7. You're never out of it. You're down by 10 in the fourth. You're never out of it with Caitlin Clark. So Frankengrinder was a nightmare, man. Let's get in. Well, first, let me just tell you. Let me give you a couple of. Again, my name is Jason J. Daniel. If you're watching, this is the Jason J. Daniel Show. I'm committed to covering and doing a post game for every Fever game because a lot of you need to get this off your chest. A lot of you, a lot of you need somebody to talk to, right? And I'm here for you. I'm really here for you. I appreciate you guys watching. Triple digits. Thank you so much. Big numbers tonight all over. I'm streaming on Twitch, Rumble, YouTube. I'm on X Live. Guys, if you can give me a repost on X, give me a like. I'd appreciate it. If you follow me, I'd really appreciate it. I have really good basketball content. It's all WNBA. I do other sports too, but right now it's all WNBA. My numbers are really huge. Thank you. I got between last a game, which was a day ago, right? 2 days ago. I've had over 1,000 comments on all my posts and on my show and on my TikTok. Real Jason J. Daniel. They call me Coach Goat on TikTok. Just put in Coach Goat, like greatest of all time. It's down there. Real Jason J. Daniel right there. And that's where I do my WNBA TikToks, and I will keep you posted on what's going on. And I try to give you some fun stuff too and keep it interesting. So Howard was just a nightmare. Yeah, the dream. Howard's dream was a nightmare. Howard was my dream. I was like, I'll marry you. I was so in love with Howard last game. I'm like, you should watch my last show. I was like, Howard. I was like, let's get married, baby. Right? Howard may say no, but I'll try. I was going to marry Howard. Now it's over. The engagement is off. Not marrying you, Howard. You can't miss 4 free throws, baby. Not marrying you. She was my nightmare tonight. Sitting Sophie was a total mistake. We talked about that. Boston, coast to coast. That was crazy. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me just jump right into some thoughts. I had some thoughts. I'm going to try to read a few comments from you guys, which I really appreciate. Not all of them are good. Some of you hate my guts, but it's cool. So I had some thoughts. Let's see here. Where is this at? Let's see here. Going into, I'm my own producer, guys. Well, that's not supposed to be in the middle, but we'll go with it. Noteworthy items going into game 2. Here are some things that I was thinking going into game 2. So I was thinking that, where's my notes? Oh, here it is. Going into game 2, I was thinking, let's see here. Oh, okay. It's clear to me it's Caitlin Clark versus everybody else as far as like not adversarial, but she's just so much better than everyone else. So it's Caitlin Clark. She's so good. Most of these teams are amateurs, but you got gals like Brittany Grindhouse that will bring the pain. She played so good. I have a lot of respect for Brittany. I have a lot of respect for Frankengrinder, Brittany Grinder. I call her Frankengrinder. There's reasons. But I have so much respect because at this level and all of the accomplishments that Brittany Grinder has, Brittany goes to a new team and really commits and made that team better. The dream is there. Look, they beat the Fever, man. You got to give it to them. So I'm not devaluing the dream because they played a great game. Look, the Fever threw everything at them. And fortunately for the dream, the coach of the Fever should have just put on a dream jersey because I felt like her coaching moves were like completely giving an advantage to the dream. I just couldn't believe it. We talked about it earlier. You can back it up. I was screaming and going crazy over the coach. This is not a good loss, but it's not the end of the world. They beat the Dream next game on the road. Now they got to go on the road. You had every game is important in the WNBA. Every game is important. Momentum is important, but now they got to go on the road. They have a back-to-back. Now this is not a real back-to-back because they have a day in between, but it's technically a back-to-back in the WNBA. So they're going to play them again. Hopefully they can right the ship, and if they win on the road and it's a decisive win, I'll take 1 point. If They win on the road. That's great. Then we right the ship. We move forward. You're 2-1. But if you lose again to this team on the road, that's a problem. Honestly, like we're gonna have. If I'm frustrated next game, we're gonna have some real problems. They cannot lose. So, Angel Reese, yeah, I got to talk about Angel Reese. Here's my thoughts, my noteworthy items going into game 2. Angel Reese melted down, and it was just a simple take foul. Guys, don't be fooled thinking that was anything other than a good basketball play. And she threw a big tantrum, gaslights the world. She's just purposely creating hate. So that was just the thought. I'm like, well, let's just see where that goes. Let's hope they can shake it off. Do I think it affected this team? I do. I think it affected the coach. The coach made the coach came out today and did some things like, don't be a jerk, and talking shit to the fans. And I'm like, really? I do think she was not focused. The coach was the problem. If you're joining me late, make no mistake, they lost because of coaching. They had Caitlin Clark on the sidelines inbounding the ball. So stupid. There's nothing more stupid than that. You got the most lethal shooter probably in basketball right now, honestly, men or women's game, the most lethal shooter in the world, and you put her on the fucking sideline with no time. I understand they were trying to be like, oh, look, we're going to be just really smart. Caitlin jumps in, but just put her on the floor, man. That's what you do with Kobe. That's what you do with Jordan. You do that with LeBron. Why do they not treat her like the superstar she is? I've never seen Jordan inbound the ball. Maybe rarely we saw him inbound the ball. LeBron, those guys rarely inbound the ball. That's not in crunch time, dude. Kobe on the sidelines? Really? That's just rookie. I'm surprised. That's a rookie coaching move. I'm way shocked by that. I was like, what? Caitlin on the side? And then they didn't call a timeout when Caitlin needed more time? Rookie mistakes, man. They had overtime. Didn't call a timeout? Rookie mistakes, man. This coaching staff is just idiots. I'm just so mad. So, okay, another noteworthy thing going into game 2, ESPN had the Fever ranked as 4 on the power rankings. I was like, that's interesting, but you know what? Clearly, they're 4. Okay, after this game tonight, that's not bad. Plus, they hadn't really beat anybody serious. This team, they should have beat. They could have beat them. They beat themselves. Let's be honest. You had Howard in there who played 30 minutes and played like shit. Bonner, DB came in and did nothing. No contribution. 0 points. Just 0 points. That's unacceptable for 17 minutes. You only have 40 minutes, man. You cannot waste minutes. The coaching staff needs to understand we cannot, once we get a lead, we got to start coaching smarter. They just didn't. They just couldn't control these guys. They couldn't. And there was it's just the 2 challenges. Come on, man. Wasn't necessary. Look, if you're in the third quarter and you're down by 2, let's challenge. But not when you're down by 6 or 7 in the first. Come on, man. Dumb. So those are my items coming into game 2 before I got my world rocked. So let's get into the game. Okay, and then I'll read some. If you hang in there, I'll read some comments at the end. I had more than 1,000 comments in 2 days on all my stuff. Real Jason J. Daniel, Coach Goat on TikTok, 8,000, almost 8,000 followers. I know, I'm embellishing, but it's the internet. And then obviously on X, 7,000. So 20,000 followers giving me comments and all that. My TikToks did 250,000 views this weekend. So thank you guys. Thank you guys. You're awesome. Real Jason. It's awesome to see my TikTok. One of them did 500,000. Pretty cool. So thank you guys. Tonight's TikToks are doing good too. I'm so depressed. I'm probably going to do TikTok tonight, but I'm so depressed. Okay. So really quick, let's run through the game a little bit. I did a lot of my graphics. You've already seen them with my main points, but I'll just tell you this. My theme is this. Call fucking timeout, dude. Call a timeout. Clock management. There's no way Howard takes the last shot. No way in hell. But Caitlin had no other choice. I don't blame Caitlin. I blame the coach. Caitlin needs to be in the key. Caitlin can make magic happen. She's getting calls all game. Did you guys notice? She's getting beat up. She's getting her scratches, red, bruised, but she's getting calls. They were giving her calls. The refs were helping them out. There was luck. You just had a coaching staff that doesn't know how to manage this Lamborghini of an offense. Call a timeout, man. Caitlin Clark was lethal. Caitlin Clark was on fire, man. And I'm like, so you take the ball out of her hands? If you put somebody on the sideline and have them inbound the ball, you're taking them out of the play. You're taking them out of the game. You're taking the ball out of their hands because you're making them throw it to someone that's not as good. Howard was not as good. Howard missed 4 free throws. Howard was getting worked like a puppet the entire game. Why Howard was in there after Grindhouse got fouled out, you had everything. You had everything. Caitlin's hot. Boston's hot. Boston can't be stopped. Grindhouse fouls out. You got everything you need. Everything you need to win this game, and you fuck it up because your coaching staff is just a joke. Sorry, not a fan of this. We're back to Christy's sides. See, and I was even easier on Christy. I wasn't as mad at her. I was like, hey, this is new for everybody. We'll figure this out. But then when she was not putting Caitlin in situations where Caitlin was taking the last shot, I'm like, how long do we have to do this before we figure out she's your Michael Jordan? Would anybody ever not give Michael Jordan the ball? Would anybody not give LeBron the ball? Would you not give Kobe the ball would you have Kobe on the sidelines? I don't get that. I just don't get it. And then when Caitlin was struggling to get the ball in, no kidding. Because there's nobody that can move. You got Howard in there being a statue. No kidding. So Caitlin can't get the ball in, so she finally gets it to the only open person who can't shoot. That's why she's open. But Caitlin had to get the ball in. Jesus Christ. So here's what Howard should have done. Honestly, gets the ball and then gets it back to Caitlin. How hard is that, man? You're not in the game. Howard was so not focused. I can't believe how unfocused she was. 4 easy free throws, missed free throws that were clutch. Those 4 free throws made the difference. I know what you're thinking. They all missed free throws. Yes, but those 4 you don't miss when you're in the key playing 30 minutes and you're going to get fouled. Practice free throws. It's that easy, man. It's unbelievable. So in the first quarter, they came out super flat. That is the job of the coach. That's the job of the coach, man, to make substitutions. She should have sat them down earlier and not let them give up that kind of a lead. Did you notice she took Caitlin out for a rest at the end of the first, and then they went down by 8? I'm like, what are you doing, dude? God damn. Let her get through that. Caitlin is money at the end of a quarter. We know she will try to score because she knows how to do it. That's important. She knows momentum. Caitlin Clark knows momentum. She's doing this and getting the crowd. The crowd was flat because they're watching the worst coach game of the year in game 2, which was a shock. The crowd's shocked because they thought the Fever would blow the dream out. Okay, you got Brittany Grindhouse, who's a legend and who played a fantastic game, by the way, and's an Olympian. So she's not going to be a pushover. She's working her magic. Everybody's stunned. Caitlin finally gets loose, brings the crowd up, and they kill the momentum by coaching. Man, I'm losing my voice. I've been doing this for 58 minutes. I love this team, all right? I'm a huge fan of this team. It's just not, it's pathetic that the coaching staff did not read the room and understand. Caitlin Clark, we live and die with her. She gets the ball. Fourth quarter, she makes the choices. Put their pride away and understand it's not about the coaching. It's not about drawing up like a fancy play. Caitlin's an animal. She doesn't need a play. She needs room. She needs to cook. Let her cook. They didn't let her cook. There was one coach that kept getting up. Twice they showed it in Caitlin's face. Like when they're coming out of the timeout, Caitlin's leading the team back on the floor. This coach, like just yelling at them. And Caitlin's like, can I just focus and moving around her? It's like, shut up, man. Let Caitlin cook, man. Jesus, man. She's a $1 billion franchise for a reason. Because when you're down by 13, you're never out. You're never out when you're down by 10. You're down by 7. You're down by 4. You're never out of it with Caitlin Clark. But you're out of it with this coach and this coaching staff that can't figure out and read the room and understand the GOAT needs the ball. It's no excuse to have the team put that kind of an effort in, at least half the team, and lose by coaching. No excuse. So Brittany Grindhouse is on fire. Number 24 was killing it. They were just easily scoring, getting everybody in foul trouble. Grinder just made that team much better. I can't believe how much better the Dream are. They were a joke last year. Now they're a legit tour de force. Look, I'm not taking anything away from them. Like, I got to tell you, I was super impressed with what I saw with Brittany Grindhouse. I was way impressed, man. I was just like, that is some legit. She knew that she was outclassing them, and she's like, no worries. And she had so many open looks. She's hitting those looks. She's not gonna miss. She didn't. She had a good game, great game. Like, and I have a lot of respect. Like, hats off, man. She's good. She just looked like a veteran that was just playing with kids. No worries. The offense looked really disjointed. The wrong people were shooting because Caitlin was really covered. She was doing her best. Caitlin took some really tough shots, but you have to get her warm. That's just how you do it. This freaking coaching staff needs to get it in their head that Caitlin's going to get warm, dude. She's going to need the last shot. What's the problem with figuring that out? I don't get it. Boston was having a tough first quarter, but she made huge adjustments. Like, man, Boston, I got to tell you, I was so impressed. I'm losing my voice, so I was so impressed by Boston. I was so impressed by her ferocity to go right at Brittany Grindhouse and just take it to her and fouls her out, gets her fouled out. She played really well. Her footwork, so good. There was even a point where she got called for traveling under the hoop. The camera at 4K, she never moved her pivot foot. It was beautiful footwork. Boston has really worked on her footwork, and you can tell, man, Boston. I was like, man, she was getting pushed around the first quarter. She's trying to figure things out. But once the second quarter hit, she was dangerous. So second quarter comes out, they're taking some dumb shots. And then they take a quick timeout, which was like the challenge. And I don't know, that was part of the problem with the coaching staff. Early challenges, just let it go. How many times last year, how many times in the last game did the officiating look stupid and do stupid stuff, but they never challenged it? Just dumb coaching. This coach is more concerned with looking good for the WNBA than really coaching a game. I wrote down, so I'm doing these notes as the game goes. I don't do it after. So these are my thoughts when it's happening. I was really concerned about the substitutions in the second quarter. I was like really concerned, especially in the first quarter. She takes Caitlin out for no reason. Maybe there was a reason we don't know. Maybe Caitlin, take me out. Maybe like she tweaked something. She needs a blow. You never know. But it made no sense. They go down by 8. You go back, just take Caitlin out in the second. Take her out when you're making, you made a little run. Like, Caitlin's a beast. She is the W. Keep her in, man. 1 minute, it's not going to make a difference. Figure it out. Slow the offense down. You can give players a breath that way. Give them a blow that way. So the referees at the beginning, I'm like, the first quarter, the referees are okay. Then they just started doing dumb shit. They all look like they just lost. First, they're like, "Oh, we have to really earn our money." They just super lost. The announcers were complaining about them. I was concerned that the refs were going to fuck this game up, and it really wasn't the refs. It was more of the coaching, because the refs in the fourth started helping out the Fever. Then they moved Caitlin to the 2, which was interesting to me, because that's what I want them to do all the time. But that just threw Caitlin out of the rhythm, and no one could work with it. They couldn't get her open. Hats off to the Dream. Really good defense, man. I was like, this team's bringing some fucking defense. And think about this. This was a high-scoring game for WNBA standards, 90 and 91-90. Really high-scoring game. And there was good defense at the same time. So that just shows you a lot. A lot of the players on both teams, a majority of them had really good shooting. Just the players that killed the Fever didn't. The Dream shot really well. They had really high percentages in the box score. So then they started in the second quarter. I was like, okay, they're starting to worry about getting fouled out, right? They're starting to worry about fouls. I could tell they're really afraid of Grindhouse. I was like, Howard's not working, pull her out. The coaching staff again didn't pull her out. And then Kelsey Mitchell, who was on the bench for a while, again, substitutions. I was like, what? Like, I'd rather have Kelsey Mitchell in than DB. if DB's doing nothing. DB was like just stunk the joint up, man. Sad. Really played sad. So they're all acting afraid of Grindhouse because in the second quarter, FRANKENGRINDER was just hot, man. Hot, unstoppable. I was impressed. I'm like, oh my God. FRANKENGRINDER was killing it. Kelsey Mitchell comes in. She's a spark plug. Well, she's killing it. I'm like, okay. And then, then Caitlin started to get really cautious, which was weird. Caitlin started getting cautious. I was like, okay. And then, she was really trying to get her shot. I can appreciate that. They're down most of that quarter. They're down a lot in the second. So she's trying not to shoot them out of it. I appreciated that. Caitlin's trying to use judgment. But then she was like, I'm just cutting loose because we're losing, right? And I understand. She was like, and that's when things started turning around. But Boston really helped that turnaround. Boston started to slow it down, play really well. They all could have made better choices on free throws, but that's okay. But, man, I was just like, I was just like, what was occurring to me is Howard cannot defend an all-star. She just can't do it. She's just terrible, can't do it. I was getting frustrated, and I was getting super frustrated with the coaching. And then all of a sudden, man, Caitlin Clark got lethal. She was on fire. She was killing it, man. The refs were way incompetent in the third, but Caitlin was on fire. She started heating up. She took a rest. Right out, they come out in the third. They start double teaming 24, who had been killing them as well. I don't want to take away from her. They started double teaming her, frustrating her. They started hacking her up because then they could give up fouls. But see, you gotta start. You can't be afraid of foul trouble. You're afraid of foul trouble in the first. You're not afraid of foul trouble in the second. And if your bench is not deep enough, you got to work on that. A lot of it was Sophie Turner. Sophie Turner was fine, guys. She's doing TikToks. She was day-to-day earlier on the injury report. She had a full practice. She was fine, but they made a mistake by not suiting her up. Now, I can appreciate that mistake because we thought the dream was going to be an easier win, and ankles are weird. I'm not saying she's not hurt, but she's fine. Ankles are weird. You don't want to fuck with an ankle. You don't. So they're taking time. Expect to see her next week. I'm sorry, next week. I keep thinking like football. Expect to see her next game. You're going to need to see her next game because, clearly they don't have what it takes to beat the dream with these coaches being idiots. They just don't. So you need people that take the fouls. So they started double teaming. It was paying off. Then they started getting more aggressive in the paint on defense, which was nice. Then Boston started doing coast-to-coast shit. It was crazy, man. I've never seen anybody do a coast-to-coast like that twice. I just really loved what I saw from Boston. And I said that earlier in the show because I've never seen that, man. We're going to wrap this up in a second. Boston was on fire, and it was an amazing fourth quarter. It was so exciting. I will say this. You got your money's worth if you're at that game. Caitlin Clark never mails it in. When you're losing, you can count on her to never mail it in. She knows she knows that arena. She knows her people. Get them up. She knows, right? All I do is win, no matter what. She is not losing in her mind. She's always winning. So, and then I'm heartbroken. And you can watch the beginning of the show to see how heartbroken I was. I feel a little better. I'm still completely disgusted by this. And it's not because they lost. It's the way they lost. It's not because they lost. So let's talk about the next game. So they're going to go to I'm going to read a few comments. Okay. So on YouTube, I really appreciate you guys, man. You guys are so dope. I got about 1,000 comments on all my social. I said that earlier. No joke. Check it out. Thousands of views on my YouTube shorts and thousands of views on my TikTok, and my views on my podcast are awesome. And you guys, the audience is great. I'm just saying thank you. I'm not trying to say anything other than that. I really put my heart and soul into this. And it means a lot to me, so thank you. So I want to read a few comments. So thanks for hanging in there, guys. But that's my recap. But while we're waiting, I'm going to read some comments. I should have had a graphic for that. Sorry, guys. But here's some comments. On Angel Reese. So I had comments on my Angel Reese on YouTube. These are all YouTube. I'll go YouTube. I probably had 1,200 comments, like 200, 300 on YouTube, and then more than 1,000 on TikTok. So I have to try to find interesting ones. But so on Angel Reese, let's see, DVGAGD says, Angel Reese, playing the victim, you hack, go make a layup. Thanks, man. Just read your comment. Just read this on my podcast. Thanks, man. That's funny. Then he said, all right. Then Lexi Hole. We have Sam Boherring. Sorry, guys. So sorry. I'm totally losing my voice. It's crazy. I totally blew myself out. Sounds weird, but anyway. So Sambo Herring 3673 says about the fever. They'll only get better. What a statement against the sky. Now he used another word. The verse he put something in here I'm not going to say. It might be controversial, but thank you, Sambo Herring. Barbara Weber said 3 hours ago, what a lovely role model for young players. Talking about Caitlin. What a lovely role model for young players to look up to her. I hope she stays that way. That's interesting. And then one last comment. We'll do 4. Roland ZB. Some of your names are tough to read. Roland Easerby, 4673, 5 hours ago, screams, play the victim to Angel Reese. The Angel Reese. I gotta. Thanks for the comments, guys. Appreciate that. Again, real Jason J. Daniel on the old TikTok machine, on the old YouTube, Jason J. Daniel. And let's see here. You were watching the Jason J. Daniel show, which I appreciate. This show might. I gotta be honest. This show was so wild, it might totally end my career. I don't know. Like, it was wild. Let's see here. So yeah, let me put up my handles. Oh, here we go. So please sub, guys, and follow. I'd really appreciate it. I appreciate everything you do. If you sub, obviously that's dope on YouTube or Rumble. We're live on Rumble and YouTube. Thanks for watching. My YouTube audience tonight, biggest live it's ever been. So thank you, guys. So please sub and follow. I appreciate you guys doing that. You can follow me and sub, and if you don't like me later on, just unsubscribe or unfollow. It's absolutely free. On TikTok, I'm real Jason J. Daniels. I appreciate that. I do TikToks. Also do a lot of NFL and college basketball, college football. NFL's coming up. Way excited about that. We have a fantasy league that's dope. We'll get into that. I'll start to really promote that. We got a month or two, but when training camp starts, it's going to be fun. What's going to be cool is I covered WNBA, the Fever, pretty tight. When that ends, training camp starts. Pretty cool. That's going to be good. Or it's about the same time. So thank you. I'm at Jason J. Daniel Show on TikTok. I have more than one TikTok. That's my show TikTok, but real Jason J. Daniel below here. Let's see here. Whoop. Oh, this one here. That real Jason J. Daniel right there. Bam. That is my TikTok. So if you want to see the WNBA stuff, there you go. Also, Rumble and YouTube. Jason J. Daniel Show. Thank you. That's me. Couple of things you need to know. Thanks for joining. A couple things you need to know about the next game. I do all of these games. I do a post-game show, so thank you. Follow my TikTok for daily stuff on Fever. I don't do a podcast on the Fever unless it's something huge or after I do post-game. I do a podcast and do other subjects. I also do TV. So I'm doing a TV show review, The Last of Us. Season is ending. So if you want to check that out, I have that archived on YouTube and Rumble. You can check out my shows. I do a post-game show on Fever, and I do a post-game show on The Last of Us. I'm an actor and an entertainer, so I really love acting, and I do a critical breakdown of TV shows. I've picked The Last of Us. That's the one I'm currently doing. So let's talk about the game coming forward. Sorry, guys, man. So I'm looking at my calendar. Fever play on Saturday. Oh no, I'm sorry. They played Thursday. 7:30 Eastern. They're in Atlanta, I believe. They're on the road. Let me just make sure I'm. Let's make sure I'm right. Okay. So let's see. I'll make sure I'm right on that. So Thursday, yes, Fever play at Dream. Fever and the Dream are both 1-1. They're both 500. Not bad, but not good. Okay, that's Thursday, May the 22nd, 4:30 Pacific, and that is 7:30 Eastern for you guys. What to look for? It's going to be interesting because we now know that when Caitlin Clark goes on the road, all the games are sold out. They've had to move most of them to larger arenas. I'm not sure if that's the case with this one, but it's going to be like a home crowd. People want to see the Caitlin Clark show on the road. This is her first road game of the season. That's going to be really interesting. When is it airing on? It's on Amazon Prime. On Amazon Prime. So, guys, if you're not local, you have to get the old Prime machine popping, and Amazon Prime games are pretty good, I have to say, for WNBA. So, Amazon Prime. Brittany Grindhouse can be a force. Look for the coaching staff to try to not be stupid. Look for them to work on these fucking free throws, and look for them to have a bounce back game. Are the stakes high? Yeah, they are. I'm going to be honest. This team, the stakes shouldn't be high. And I was telling myself, okay, if they lose, see, I would have rather them lost by 10 to 12. I can work with that. Then you can be like, okay, there's a lot of adjustments. There's a hangover, but this wasn't a hangover. They had a little hangover, but I think they got overcoached. I think that's what it was. I think the coaching staff just can't figure this shit out. They can't call fucking timeout. They don't know what they're doing sometimes, and they're really they're in over their heads with Caitlin Clark. They really are. So it's something they're gonna have to work on. So look for them to be better with the clock. Look for Caitlin to get the ball earlier. I think they're gonna need to get her hot. And then look for them to really be better at the free throw line. I think Boston is really hitting a rhythm. I think, what I was going to say is if the Fever had won this game, we would have been, okay, cool, we expect that. But the Dream would have had a really good shot at home to bounce back and win the second game. So for me, it's a 2-game project. This is going to show us a lot. Adversity. So what's the silver lining? Your silver linings are Caitlin was lethal and she can bring you back into the game. So we're going to look at that. Boston. That's another silver lining. The Dream Girls, they're my Dream Girls tonight. They played really, really well. They played like they're 1-2. They're 1-2. I thought Kelsey Mitchell is like the Pippen to the Jordan, but not so much. Kelsey Mitchell kind of had a quiet game, but she was effective. But the coach pulled her out a little bit more than I expected. And I think the coach is trying to work on some things. And I think the coaching staff thought against the Dream they need to go bigger. Well, if you have Sophie, yeah, Sophie's gives you that length, and she's a defensive monster. But I think in this situation, DB sits. You rotate it a little bit more, and you see a little more KM. That's what I think you should see next game. You need to see Sophie. She's fine. Get her out there. If she's not fine, she doesn't practice. Okay, so I need to see some Sophie. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. She's totally fine. So let's see how that goes. And it seems like we're back to basketball. That's important. It seems like the drama's over with all the gaslighting about the fans. It's a bunch of little kids, man. It's a bunch of little kids. So there it is, guys. There's your wrap up. Thank you again. My name is Jason J. Daniel. Thanks for watching. Like a broken record from last year, Caitlin doesn't take the last shot. That's a headline. Fever lose 91-90. And I gotta say, I'm looking for them to come out and just start to shoot the lights out and play much better next game. Thanks for watching. Have a good night, and God bless you guys. Vio con Dios. Go with God.